It's finally here. Clemson at South Carolina, rivalry week, the Palmetto Bowl, and it starts Saturday night, 7:30 on the SEC Network. I'm going to dive into, well, my official prediction. Don't worry, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to get right to it. But first, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I'm Brian. I do appreciate you being here. If you've subscribed, thank you. I really do appreciate it. If you've never subscribed, you watch all the time, or you're a first-time viewer, I hope you'll subscribe. It's free. It's a great way to support the channel. Both of these teams represent good old-fashioned hate when it comes to this rivalry. They despise one another. Separated by about, roughly 2 hours. A trip to the middle part of the state for the Tigers. Is it an interesting... I said I wasn't going to beat around the bush, and I'm not. Both of these teams has had a lackluster season. It wasn't too long ago that Clemson was 4-4. Everyone was falling apart, yelling, screaming at one another. There was divisions within the Clemson community. These past 3 wins over Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina has calmed everyone to a point. On the other hand, South Carolina, just a few weeks ago, was 2-6. Yeah, losing to Georgia is understandable, but blowing it in some games that they've blown it in, it just really doesn't make sense. Both teams have been riddled with injuries. So if one team says, well, we had injuries, well, the other team can say, so have we. The interesting fact is that Clemson has actually benefited from those injuries. You're like, how so? How so? Tell me. I can tell you. Cole Turner gets hurt. Who emerges? Tyler Brown. We have injuries in our secondary. Who emerges? Khalil Barnes, Avion Terrell, and other players who were just stepping up and having the game of their lifetime, and they're freshmen. South Carolina has had injuries. On the offensive line, don't even bring that up to a Gamecock fan. They'll just kind of lean back, roll their eyes, maybe say a few things they shouldn't. Because Spencer Rattler has been beat up nonstop because of the poor offensive line play. If you go to their secondary, they've had injuries, they have some inexperience, and they can't cover anyone. In fact, if you go and you look at their ranking for total defense, it's not that great. I think they're ranked like number 98, something like that. Clemson's ranked number 10. Their offense is not that great. But in rivalry games, the old adage, you can throw out the record books. I think it really applies to this game more than a lot of people really want to admit. Now, as I said, Clemson is 7-4. They're on a 3-game win streak. They've beat 2 really good teams out of the past 3 weeks. South Carolina, they've won. It hasn't been over amazing talent, but they've won. I believe the Gamecocks are going to fight very hard. Why? Well, first, it's at Willie B. They're 5-6. If they get this win, they go 6-6. Next, it would be a 2-year win streak over the Tigers. So there's a lot of bragging to be done for another 365 days. If my math is correct, and my thought is correct, next year is a leap year, so it'll be 366 days of jabbing at the Tigers. Clemson, on the other hand, if they get this win, no, it will not be a 10-win season. No, it will not be in favor of a trip to a big bowl. It won't. In fact, it will be a lackluster bowl. It'll be one of the most lackluster bowls we have seen in many, many years. But still, it would be a great sign to us Clemson faithful that the coaching staff has finally gotten it together and that we can maybe have some hope for the 2024 season. So what's the key to the game? Well, first off, if you're Clemson and you have this incredible defense, go after Spencer Rattler. Now, it's a rumor right now that Juice Wells might play for South Carolina. It's a rumor. I don't know if it's just a rumor, but last year he had a good game against Clemson, and the guy's very talented. Their leading receiver is Xavier Legette. He's a big bruiser, wide receiver, almost 1,200 yards receiving. And then you have Trey Knox, the Arkansas transfer. Then you add in freshman phenom, 5-star, huge Olympic speed, tall Nick Harbor. Now, how they're going to use him, I don't know. Because in high school, he played defensive line and tight end. But I would not be shocked to see them try to get him involved early, just for anything to get some hype going on in Williams-Brice. But if Clemson wants to take control of this game, it has to start with the defense. Pound Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler is a talented football player, Gamecock or not. He's been beat up this year, but he continues to get up off the ground, pull the grass out of his face mask, and continue to ball. You can't have anything other than mad respect for that, considering most star quarterbacks these days are a bunch of punks who run their mouth, and they're extremely entitled. Spencer Rattler, he hasn't done it, or at least I haven't seen him out of him this year. Clemson needs to put him into the ground. I didn't say go out there and try to hurt the guy, but this is football. There's a reason you have a helmet and they give you pads. It's to punish the other guy within the rules, of course. Go out there. Don't give him any time to think. Double up on Xavier Legette. Don't let Trey Knox just run all over the place. And do respect Nick Harbor, because the guy is really tall and he's really fast. But continue putting the pressure on him. On the offensive side of the ball for the Tigers, run the football, and then throw the football. Continue to give Maffa the majority of the shares of the carries, okay? That's what you need to do. You need to give him the majority of the carries. Working Shipley and Maffa back and forth is a great way to wear down this defense of South Carolina. And it is a great way to figure out which back is hot on Saturday. That's a great problem to have. Maybe one back's doing better than this back. Then at that point, you adjust and give the back who has the hot hand the football more. It's just logic. Don't put Cade in a place to where the game is on his shoulders. Now, if I'm South Carolina's defense, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to try to push Cade to have to make decisions that he doesn't want to make. Push him into a corner to make him force the football, which we still see him do. But the key to this game, to me, once again, is not our defense versus their offense. The key to this game, just like against North Carolina, is our offense against their bad defense. We need to continue to run the football and dominate the line of scrimmage. Now, folks, I'm going to give you my score now, and we're only 8 minutes in. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not giving myself some insurance. I'm just telling you, I believe South Carolina is going to fight, and they're going to fight hard. Clemson is a 7-point favorite for this game right now. I believe Clemson wins this game in a very close game. I believe Clemson wins the game somewhere in the 27-20 range. Maybe 24-17, because I'm just not sold on our offense being fixed. I know what they just did against North Carolina. I know what they did against Georgia Tech. I know what they did against Notre Dame. But this is the Palmetto Bowl. This is South Carolina trying to become bowl eligible, if they're not already bowl eligible even though they're 5-6. It's according to where they land within the SEC. I don't know. But this will give them 2 consecutive wins over Clemson. This is what Shane Beamer needs. Nobody gave them a shot at winning this game last year. Clemson, whether it's the coaches or whether it's the fans, we don't need to be naive. They can definitely win this game if they play hard, if they play smart, and if they create turnovers and then take advantage of those opportunities. Clemson wins this ball game by 7 points. I believe it will be somewhere in 7 points. The key is to take care of the football, and when you move the football, don't just move it, punch it into the end zone. So there we go. Clemson, I believe you win the ball game, but you've got to watch South Carolina. You have to watch South Carolina. So, folks, thank you for joining me on my official prediction. I hope you've subscribed. There's a way that you can join and support the channel on a monthly basis. That's right below the video. Also, a shout out to the sponsor of forputtcarts.com. The link's below the video. They're a snack and beverage cart service for golf courses and special events. So reach out to them and tell them that you heard about them from me. And folks, I can't believe it. The rivalry game is already here. Either way, it's always good to be watching college football, and it's always good to be a Tiger. As always, go Tigers.